And we're back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're back with the one, the only MKO, an artist that's been making waves in Dubai. What's up? Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course, pleasure's all mine, man.
Thanks for having me.
Um,
Beautiful studio, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank
you. We'll ignore the LED screen not doing what it's supposed to for now, but we'll look past it. But thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, my pleasure, man.
Are you? Of course. Are you always awake this early, or?
Well, I'm more. Yeah, I'm a bit of an early riser. So I sort of start my day by 5:30.
Yeah.
This is like a standard routine for me. Wake up 5:30, do my lemon squeeze, and then
what?
And then is that what you wicked? And then hit the gym, work out for a bit, and then try to have something light, and then go straight to the office, and that's my day.
How good is a lemon mint juice though?
It's super good, man. Like
so
you start your day with that. It helps you with
everything.
It helps you with
it does what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Secret recipe: adding mangoes. Honestly, changes everything.
I think you just want to have that hint of a sweetness in it.
Honestly. It's from this random restaurant I went to in London, and they're like, we add mangoes. I'm like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I should try that. Okay,
100%.
I've never tried it with mangoes. Yeah.
So tell us about you as an artist. Tell us about where your name comes from, and about your identity as a musician.
Right. My name is MKO. That's what most people call me, and MKO is my initials, and that is my my traditional name because I'm from Nigeria, and that's Maduabuchi. It's a mouthful.
Maduabuchi.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Oh,
there you go. Yes. So it's Maduabuchi Kingsley Opor, and not Opor is my last name. Opor is spelled as Okpor, but the K is silent. And then it just, as a way of having all my names, that's why I went with my initials, MKO. I'm a singer-songwriter, I'm an art curator, and have a corporate background, used to have a corporate background in legal, finance, and oil and gas here in the UAE. And somehow my passion for creative art led me to set up Art Fusion Night, which is a platform where we showcase all forms of creative art, from music, art, fashion, poetry, and the list goes on. And I'm a singer, so we sort of created to have a bunch of creatives from different parts of the world as a representation of what Dubai really is, which is having people from different backgrounds, and then having Emirati singers, Jordanian singers, Egyptian singers, Filipinos. So it's an album that represents the sort of culture of
even
Dubai.
the music videos from that album.
Yeah.
Completely diverse, and that was the
exactly.
beauty of it. I've actually seen it 2 days ago, and I was like, he's done it again.
Yeah,
he's done it again.
Yeah, I'm a deep thinker, so I always try to infuse, my way of thinking, my level of creativity in everything I do. So when you see any MKO project, it would instantly resonate as an MKO project. Yeah. So,
amazing.
So yeah, that's me in a nutshell, really.
So you were mentioning that you used to have a corporate job, and then you left. You're like, no more. I'm done.
I mean, I'm one of the lucky few, if I must say, who had jobs where my ex-boss used to support what I do. They would show up to my event. They would show up to my performances. It was great.
That's important.
Yeah, exactly. And having people to support your passion is rare to find in any industry. But the thing is, I'm a guy who gives 1,000% to everything I do, including my 9 to 5. So sometimes I would travel. I mean, every show or bookings I would get outside of the UAE, I would have to make sure it sort of fits with my annual leave, and sometimes I'll turn down shows, as I should, because I had a commitment.
Yeah.
But it reached a point where it was now starting to take a toll. I was trying to, cope with travels and everything else. So I asked for reduced days. If my ex-boss is watching, I still love you.
How's it going?
Just saying. But I asked for reduced days and it was approved. And instead they gave me a promotion.
Really?
So I'm like, guys, I appreciate the promotion, but
with the reduced days,
I need less. I need less responsibility.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Exactly. So I mean, if they had given me the reduced days, perhaps I would have gone for it.
Yeah.
And I had reached a certain point in my career where I just knew that it was time for me to take that extra leap. Okay. And I think it was because in my department, somehow at the point, I felt like, I mean, as every job, everyone, you might feel indispensable, but when you leave, the company will survive without you. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, had to make a call between taking a promotion or creating and focusing on my passion.
What was the turning point that made you say, nope, I believe in myself, I'm going for it like full throttle?
Truthfully, every year was a turning point for me.
Yeah.
I just reached that point of my career where I knew it was time for me to focus on myself. But I guess, you know how it is, that level of uncertainty, like especially when you know there is that stable income at the end of every month. I never knew what it was like to buy petrol in my car because if I must say, my previous job would do things like that, and so it was now time to.
What company? I
know. It's like the car breaks down, someone would come and pick it up. But anyway.
But what you're saying is that you were betting on yourself in a way.
In a way, I mean, you whatever you want to pursue in life, if you don't give up something for it, then I don't think you're ready. Okay. So I had to give up a good paying job, a stable position, and it wasn't easy, but I would make that decision over and over again. I think it was in 2019 when I got this gig with MKO to bring Art Fusion Night to the point, and I needed time for that, so I quit, and then the pandemic came, but we still survived.
The rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. So yeah.
So a lot of people that I know even that are trying to make a name for themselves in Dubai specifically, they are in the situation that you once was in, and it's like, I'm working a job, don't know how I feel about it, I'm trying to pull through because you have that consistency and the stability of a paycheck. What's your advice to them?
My advice would be, the world is changing, especially after the pandemic. People understand now that you can work lesser hours. Even the UAE government has made it easy for us to have, side hustles. Do you get me? So I think if you don't have the conversation with the people you work with, you would never know. Perhaps if it was different for me at the time, whereby the people I used to work for understood that it's changed. We can have lesser hours. I don't even mind reduced salaries and stuff. It probably would have made a huge difference. Do you get me? So I would say there's always that need to have financial security. Okay. And if you think you haven't built your career to the point where you're convinced that you can look after yourself, then you should start and try and be disciplined. Like, give as much time to your passion as well as your 9 to 5, because you don't want to be lacking at work. Do you get me? So that would be my advice, really. I started, and my music had already reached a certain level. My Art Fusion Night had reached a certain level. I was convinced that it was time, and I felt like at that point I could take it to a whole new level by giving it 1,000%. I mean, I worked for the company when we were 6, and now they almost have an entire floor. Yeah. Do you get me? So if you have a passion, start, be convinced before you make that decision, and try to have the conversation with the people you work with. That would be my. What
keeps the fire going? So you have 2 jobs. You're trying to do the best at both of them. How do you stay motivated?
Passion is not the only thing. Discipline is.
Okay.
If you want something very badly, you have to give in that extra to it. Okay. It could mean less sleep. It could mean finishing at work, go for sound check, go back, take a nap, shower, and go perform. And then straight from the venue, if they check you into a hotel, you go to the hotel, shower, and go to work, and still stay productive. That's the discipline that comes with it. So that's my number 1 advice: discipline, because that's the only thing that would keep you awake. The passion is not enough. We're all passionate about what we love. Yeah. What we love, not what we do. Yeah. Do you get me? But then sometimes not everyone loves their job, but you could love the paycheck, right? And that motivates you to show up to work. Do you get me? So yeah, discipline would be number one for me.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom said by the wisest man I know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I, as an artist, and I guess because of my background, I try to build on myself. The people around me, the creatives I support, the people I try to give, I guess, opportunities. I try to make them understand that you need to work on yourself first.
And that's where,
yeah,
that's where Art Fusion comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Work on yourself, believe in yourself, trust the process, but you have to give. You have to give extra.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Talk to us about Art Fusion a bit more. How did that come about? What is Art Fusion, and how does it help the general public and artists, most importantly?
Right. So Art Fusion Night is a platform that we set up about 7 years ago. And when I say we, was, our first show was cancelled because it was our first event. We didn't know that there was something called D2C and permits and also all sorts of things.
All the good stuff.
And then the two guys I started it with pulled out because they felt like it didn't worth their time.
Okay.
Even though I reached out and said I need a team to start this. So Art Fusion is a platform that showcases all forms of creative art, and that's music, art, fashion, poetry, comedy, all forms of art. Every night is a different concept. Sometimes could be Broadway, could be plays, could be music, right? That's how I think. Again,
you're going from Broadway to like art installations. It's great.
Yeah, but that's why it's a fusion of art, right? As a creative, when I started making my music, I was booked for a show. I think I told you the story.
Yeah.
And my background, people I used to work with were excited about coming to watch me perform. I had friends, people from the UK, Nigeria, flying in. My uncle was flying in because they were excited because they were like, you know what, this has been a passion for you. And I was booked for a show where they were trying to give me an opportunity, exposure, and just my group alone, the venue was able to make around 40,000 dirhams, and so is other.
The people that you brought in.
Just the people I brought in alone, right? And not even like a 5% to say, listen, mate,
thank you.
Even though we were giving you an opportunity, you were able to make us this much money. Here's 5%.
Yeah.
For you.
So it's borderline extortion in a way.
Exactly. But I mean, look, I'm still very appreciative of the opportunity because if I hadn't done some of these things, it wouldn't have opened up my mind to understand that there is actually a creative space in Dubai that can be promoted. And that's how Art Fusion Night came about. A platform where I can push to get sponsorship. I could also fund it myself and pay the creatives who are performing. I always try to see if they can give by, let me try one time and then next time we'll make sure there is a payment for you. And majority of these guys don't even have the following, the community to support the platform, but that's not the point. You're coming to entertain. So at the end of the day, you're giving something and people are here to watch. So we would have people who are like, why are we coming to watch some guy that we don't know? But the point is you're coming to be entertained. You're not coming for the creative. Obviously at the early stages, I had to use my name as the brand. So that's what led to me starting Art Fusion Night. And through the platform, we've been able to showcase, artists who had their paintings in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Some who never thought they were good enough. I had one artist one of the first ever participation that she participated in of Art Fusion Night, her pieces were the most sold. And this is someone who never, thought she was good enough. We have had artists who won Emerging Artist of the Year twice with Word Art Dubai.
Yeah.
These are some of our success stories. And we've seen people crash the event to set up their own platform, which is great because that was the vision. The vision is creating a platform that can be replicated to grow the creative space. Do you get me? And right now, Art Fusion Night, we get corporate sponsors, we get brands to work with us. Some of the guys you've worked with as well have been part of what we do. We've been supported by Dubai Tourism, Dubai, and just the list goes on.
So
yeah, exactly. And we had a project in Rwanda recently where we had to work with the Youth Connect Summit and the idea was to promote entrepreneurship within the creative space, right? And these are some of the, the goal for Art Fusion Night is endless. We're not there yet. But that's one step at a time.
One big step at a time.
Exactly. And we have our next event on the 30th of December in the DIFC Central Park Towers, and that's our end of year party. So we just want people to show up in colors. So the theme is
color
block, exactly. So just show up in your best drip and just have a good time and end the year. But there would be some art on display.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of art, you just released your latest single. Tell us about the name. Tell us where we can find it.
Right.
And the artwork. There's a lot behind the artwork as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So first off, it's called The Man, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about the actual track.
The Man is a love song. It's just about speaking about the various emotions that we go through when it comes to our daily relationships and lives and stuff. And as an artist, I try to put myself in a space to, as a writer, I'd like to write what I feel I can feel or someone else is feeling, and that's what has gone into that song. And the title is the Man. So most people, when they see the title, The Man, is almost like, but then it's far from just a title. Yeah.
And then the song is what the silhouette actually is.
Yeah. And pre-conscious, the conscious mind, and of course when you kapoof.
So that's the third one. Okay.
Yeah. And then it's kind of like there is a mask, and that mask is like the first impression of yourself that you put out there. Everyone, there is no such thing as I'm 100% of myself every time.
Yeah.
The
ideal self and the self-image.
Exactly.
And how people perceive you, how you perceive yourself, and what you want people to perceive.
What you want people to perceive, because the first thing you project when you meet people is a mask, is a version that you want them to see.
Yeah.
And then there is a second version of yourself who is like your true self that is always questioning you, like, you're fighting with your identity, trying to find your identity. And then there is a third version of yourself where you want to be vulnerable to somebody at all times. Like, exactly. Like but you wish they could listen, they could hear, they could see what you see. You get it? So that's kind of like what the artwork is. And then there is this blurry image of a female person in the background, which is more like, I'm here if you see me. Do you get me? So that is deep. So you gotta have to see it to
we have it playing beside us. It's actually a beautiful piece of art. Where can people hear the track?
It's available on all streaming platforms. It's MKO The Man. On Instagram is The Man MKO, and it's on iTunes, Spotify, and Game in the Middle East.
The good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's on all streaming platforms. Produced by a good friend of mine and a producer here in the UAE. Devin Kusoko, my guy.
How's it going?
Hey, big shout out to you, bro. And the artwork was designed by people on my team. And I'm just excited for it. And I'm working on my album as well.
I was gonna ask, does this mean we can expect an album in the near future?
Yeah, exactly. There's an EP, and there'll be a couple of singles prior to the release of the.
What can you dish so far? Do you have a date in mind, a season, number of tracks, name?
Yeah, there is. There is a title. There is a date. I mean, there is almost like a map, really.
Okay.
But I always say, you know how it is. Man proposes and God disposes. That's how it says, isn't it? So you make plans. Exactly. So
all in due time.
Yeah, all in due time. I have my plans, and I hope it goes according to plan. If it doesn't, then let it go according to God's plan.
Exactly. Said. Yeah. What a way to end it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
It's been such a pleasure.
Same here.
Bringing all the vibes this morning.
Yeah.
Your music on all streaming platforms. The Man is out now, and Art Fusion, January 30th.
Yeah.
DIFC.
DIFC, Central Park Towers, Fogo de Chao. You can check us out on Instagram. It's literally Art Fusion Night. And MKO is MKO_world. So on Art Fusion Night on the website, there is a section that says upcoming events. You can just go there and sign up and come check us out. It starts exactly at 7 p.m.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, man.
Of course.
It's been a pleasure.
All mine.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in with all the conundrums that have come with today's show. MKO, thank you so much for being here. Guys, Simran, hopefully you're watching. Be back with me tomorrow, and all the bits and pieces will fall into place. But that is it from me today. Stay safe, wash your hands. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye, and stay blessed.